because I felt convinced from the beginning. I started making a film about Vermeer about 30 years ago, and I felt convinced from the beginning that although I didn't get anywhere near understanding him, I just knew in my heart and in my soul that there was more going on than the current consensus, which was quite tedious. The current consensus was that he was a genre painter like any other, and that these paintings had really boring, kind of predictable meanings, like, oh, look at this silly woman, how sort of lacking in virtue she is. She's going to have a drink with this soldier, and then afterwards they're going to go and creep off into a room behind, which maybe it would have been if it had been painted by someone else, but everybody has always known that Vermeer is somehow different from that. But no one could put their finger on what it was that made him different. And I wanted to do that. That's what I wanted to do. I didn't dream that I would, but I did. He has been misunderstood for a very, very long time as a genre painter, painting for the market like other genre painters, exploring the rather typical concerns of genre painting as they are filtered through modern art historians' ideas about them, i.e. he was thought to have been painting pictures about sort of silly, immoral women enjoying their finery or having a drink with a soldier, all that sort of thing. And it's all complete nonsense, based on a complete fallacy idea about who Vermeer was. Once you know who Vermeer was, it's not so easy to find out, but he was a man at the centre of a web of women. He painted all his pictures, unlike any other great artist in all of Western history. He painted all his pictures for one place, one house, for these people, for this group of people. So point one of the work was to try and find out who those people were. Point two was to try and find out what they believed. Point three was to see if this can be mapped against Vermeer's paintings, and boy, can it. So all the paintings become far more pure, far more beautiful, well, as beautiful as people have always known them to be, as unusual as people have always known them to be. But, we now know that these people were Europe's first pacifists. They were Europe's first, I would say, first feminists. I don't think it's an exaggeration to say that. They believed in toleration. They followed the teachings of a man called Jacobus Arminius, who was in effect the Gandhi of the 17th century, a great prophet of peace and love and understanding. So when you see two houses next to each other in Vermeer's painting, it's not a painting of houses. It's a painting about the understanding between people. That person has mended that person's door. That person has touched up that person's paint. This is how we should live together. That door is the door to belief and truth. The paintings are far more serious than anyone had ever dreamed. Really, in a way that I hadn't planned or, projected, but turns out, so many people now do think that a lot of answers to the world's problems lie in that Enlightenment idea about toleration. So in a sense, my book, which is about the prehistory of that idea, is very timely. In fact, one of my best friends, when I was writing the book, he actually works for UNICEF, and he works to try and protect children in places like the Middle East during war and civil war. So he's one of my closest friends. And when we were talking about my book as I was writing it, he kept saying, I should, if you give me a copy of Arminius, I should take it and give it to some of our people to encourage them. So, without meaning it to be topical, I did find it was.